Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Ninth class, today we will study chapter number 4 review questions from question number 9 onwards. We already discussed question number 9, but some students have some difficulty, so we will discuss in detail again. We are talking about formation of cations. When we are talking about strontium cation, that is basically element which has atomic number of 38. If we want to form it, we know its electronic configuration comes from 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p5 and then 5s2. It has 2 electrons in outermost shell and we have to release that electron. That means it releases 2 electrons from valence shell to form cation. Okay, similar way, when we are talking about barium, it has atomic mass of 56. That means we have to form electronic configuration till 6th shell. That means in first shell we have only 2 electrons, but in second shell we have 8, and third also we have 8 electrons, and third onwards we have 18 electrons. In the last shell, that is 6s2, which has only 2 electrons, and when my 2 electrons are released, it forms cation with 2 electrons. Okay, hopefully you understand now how you will form these cations which has higher atomic number. In question number 10, we have to form anions. These are simplest ones because these have only 3 or 4 shells. So when we are talking about phosphorus, phosphorus has 5 electrons in the outermost shell and it needed 3 electrons to complete its outermost shell. So phosphorus will gain 3 electrons and form an anion. In similar way, when we are talking about boron, it will also form anion by gaining 1 electron because it belongs to 7A group. Okay, and when we are talking about hydrogen anion, that means hydrogen already has 1 electron and it will gain 1 more electron to form its duplet, and it will form anion by gaining 1 electron. So that means it will have -1, okay, charge. Similarly, in question number 10, we have done this. Now we will discuss about question number 11. When we are talking about question number 11, here we have to form cation, okay, using electron dot structure. When we are talking about electron dot structure, that means we have to form their electronic shells. When we are talking about magnesium, we already done during our class, but we will discuss it again. Magnesium have 2 electrons in outermost shell and it will release these 2 electrons to form its cation. Okay, similarly lithium, which has 3 electrons, 2 electrons in first shell and in second shell, that means valence shell, it has only 1 electron and it will release 1 electron to form lithium ion or lithium cation, and it will have also +1 charge. Afterward, we are talking about beryllium. When we are talking about beryllium, it contains 2 electrons in outermost shell, so it will form cation by losing 2 electrons. Okay. Now we are discussing question number 12. Question number 12 is contain 3 parts, and we also have to form electron dot and cross structure using for the formation of ionic compound. When we are talking about potassium and chlorine, we know potassium has 1 electron in outermost shell, whereas chlorine has 7 electrons in outermost shell. So potassium will give 1 electron to chlorine and form cation, and chlorine will gain 1 electron and form anion. In similar way, when we are talking about calcium, it contains 2 electrons in valence shell and sulfur have 6 electrons in valence shell. So calcium will lose 2 electrons, and whereas sulfur will gain 2 electrons to form cation and anion. Similarly, we will discuss about aluminium and nitrogen. When we are talking about aluminium, it contains 3 electrons in outermost shell, and it will release 3 electrons to give nitrogen, which have 5 electrons in outermost shell, and nitrogen will form anion of -3, whereas aluminium will form +3 charge. Now we will discuss about magnesium chloride, potassium bromide, and sodium iodide. When we are talking about magnesium chloride, as we know, magnesium is metal, chlorine is non-metal. So we already studied during your class. So we will not you have don't need to write down it again. Okay, you have to just learn it and understand it how it is formed. Similarly, potassium bromide you don't have done, so we will discuss it here. Potassium is metal and bromine is a non-metal. So potassium will lose 1 electron in outermost shell and bromine will gain 1 electron because bromine has 7 electron in outermost shell. So both of them, by losing and gaining electron, form their octet. Similarly, when we are talking about sodium iodide, in which sodium has 1 electron in outermost shell, whereas iodine has 7 electron in outermost shell. So sodium will lose 1 electron and iodine will gain 1 electron and form anion and cation. Hopefully you understand all these concepts. Now I will go to question number 14, that is an atom of an element has atomic number 9 and mass number 19. We have to tell its proton number and neutron number, and also we have to discuss its number of electrons. So first thing is we know atomic number is equal to number of proton, whereas if we are talking about number of neutron, okay, it is number of neutron, that is atomic mass minus atomic number. So that means number of neutron are 10, number of proton are 9, or number of electron are 9, as atomic number is equal to number of proton and number of proton are equal to number of electron. Now in third part we have to draw cross and dot diagram for the formation of ions. Okay, when we are talking about sodium and fluorine, sodium has 1 electron in outermost shell, which it will lose to form sodium cation, and fluorine will gain 1 electron to form fluorine anion. Now question number 15, it is last question. It is not last, but we will discuss it lastly because question number 16 you already have done in your notebook, so I am not going to discuss that again. But in question number 15, is there a need for more adhesives? Yes, there is a need for more adhesive. The adhesive action of paints and dye is developed due to hydrogen bonding. Why it is unneeded? We already discussed it during when we studied side boxes. Okay, give what are adhesives and why these are important and why they are needed. So you have to just write down these two lines to complete its answer. Thank you class for today's lecture. Your diary is to complete these review questions on your notebooks. Okay, Allah Hafiz, goodbye.